I started the egg freezing process. I did some preliminary tests which showed that my egg count is really low. The doctors did tell me that might affect my fertility. My eggs are high quality, but there's just not a lot of them. It's just so sad.
In today's TikTok reaction video, I've got some pretty crazy stories lined up for you. We've got a woman who refused to go on coffee dates, but soon comes to regret it, and another woman who was mysteriously blocked and ghosted by who she thought was the perfect guy. To figure out what the hell is going on here, let's get into the mess.
So I matched with this guy on Hinge. Okay, things are going great. We're having great conversation, good back and forth. He's answering, with more than one word, and he's being super nice, super respectful, and it's like not love bombing at all in any way. He was just like trying to form a genuine connection, and it truly seemed like textbook, this is how you get to know someone and then date them, okay? And so I'm like, oh my God, I met a nice guy. So then we're talking and we start texting. So I'm thinking things are going great. We're planning to meet up hopefully this weekend and go do something. And so Sunday, we were trying to FaceTime. Sunday we were going to, it didn't work out. So Monday he jokingly was like, if we don't FaceTime tonight, I'm gonna die, ha ha ha. Okay, so we're talking all throughout the day Monday, things are fine. And then I knew he was busy till 8:30. So around 8 he texted me, he's like, I'll be done soon. I was like, yeah, take your time, just FaceTime me whenever you get home and you're settled. And I don't hear anything. So then it's 10 o'clock and I'm like, hey, did you still want to FaceTime? I'm kind of tired. And I don't hear anything, so I'm like, I'll just go to bed. So I go to bed and I wake up this morning and I texted him and it was just like, haha, hope you didn't die because we didn't FaceTime. And that was around 8:30. And then around 10:30, I went to go look at my messages and I clicked on ours and I look and I see that the message has not delivered. He blocked me. Blocked me. How am I supposed to find a man when this is what I'm left with? How am I supposed to trust anyone if I'm thinking I'm having a good connection with someone, because I am, and it's pretty genuine, and then they just out of the blue block me? Why? So I'm now taking applications on TikTok because I'm so over every dating app. But what the fuck?
This story's so hard to read, and it doesn't help that we're only getting her side of the story. But in my experience, it's very rare for a guy to just block a woman like that, so I wonder if we're not getting the full picture about what actually happened. It's also possible that he came across her TikTok page, and she had other videos like this, just sharing all the details of her life with the world, and perhaps he wanted no part of it. It's also possible that he just met someone else and didn't want to see her again. From how she described the date, I'd assume that he's someone who's quite comfortable around women and knows how to make them feel good, even when he's telling them things he doesn't really believe himself. I tried to get some clues as to what may have happened, so I jumped into the comments section. His ex came back. Happens every time. That can't be the full story. You must have done or said something. I've done this a few times, and for me, it was because I found their social media and didn't like what I saw. Just gotta keep trying. Of course, I'm on a break now, and that's been going on for over a year. The ghosting, the blocking, the discarding. It's so difficult to be a woman and be open and vulnerable these days. Try being an average guy who has to make the first move, only to get his ass chewed out 99% of the time. Both men and women have their struggles when it comes to dating, and with society trying to half-heartedly change cultural norms, it's only getting harder. Anyway, what do you guys think happened between this woman and her date?
So this went viral on X, and it has me a little frustrated at my fellow females. An incel account, which if you don't know what an incel is, it's a man that declares to be involuntarily celibate, meaning that they don't think that they can do anything to attain women because they are not attractive enough. With the intention to affirm their point, they created a fake dating profile of a very attractive man, and they put in the dating profile, "I have a criminal record for beating a woman, but we all have a past." This account receives 800 matches in 48 hours. 800 matches. Ladies, nobody's that hot. No woman beater is that hot, okay? And if you are interested in someone that you know has hit another woman, JD Vance is more of a feminist ally than you are. And trust me, I'm not going to deny that if a hot woman in a bikini put in her profile, "I have a past of theft and domestic violence," she'd probably get 800 matches too.
800 matches is crazy. Throughout his lifetime, a guy would be lucky to get 50 matches. But when a guy has the typical traits that women love, to hell with all the rest. Of course, not all women are like this, but what she's talking about here is called hybristophilia, and funnily enough, it's a phenomenon that mostly affects women, and what it basically refers to is women who are attracted to dangerous guys or criminals. If this sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen it plenty of times in your own life. You know, the girl who's attracted to the bad boy. Well, this is just the extreme version of that, but they both exist on the same plane. Anyway, down in the comments, a few people shared their thoughts on the matter. "I can't get one match a month." And this next person says, "Men have been saying this for years, and we refuse to believe them or accept accountability for our poor choices. But then we gotta hear the justification for a bear over men for months. Y'all are as useless as it can get."
Did not expect for all of you guys to agree with me in my recent video about how hard it is to date. I was actually hoping for some advice, but apparently all of us are on the same boat, and there's just no men out here to date. And that just leads me to the question of why. I know I'm picky as hell. Every one of my friends say how picky I am and how it's just it's gonna get me nowhere, and I get it, but I also know what I bring to the table, so I'm just you got to be picky because I don't want to settle, and it's been this long, why would I settle? But what is it about these men out here that's causing all of us in the comment section to realize that we're all single? Doesn't that seem a little strange to everybody that there was so many people that were commenting that they were just single too, and they have been for many years, and it shouldn't be this hard, right? Where are the good men? Also, the people in the comment section, men, that are giving us advice on why we're single because, and then it leads into something really rude and just judgmental. You're the people we don't want to date.
I think everyone is free to be as picky as they want, and as she said in the video, she doesn't want to settle for less. The thing is though, if she's struggling to find the kind of man she wants, it suggests that those guys, for whatever reason, aren't looking in her direction. A guy could sit there all day and talk about how Sydney Sweeney is his type and that he won't settle for less. But if women of that caliber aren't looking in his direction, he can either die alone or make adjustments. I don't know what kind of man the girl in this video is looking for exactly, but if she's not able to attract a dude like that, maybe she's not bringing as much to the table as she thinks. When it comes to dating, one of the worst things you can do is overestimate your value. I'm not saying you have to be out here putting yourself down or anything, but it helps to be realistic about where you sit. Anyway, here's what some people had to say in the comments. "The good guys are tired and afraid. We've been used, abused, and manipulated. We've been promised the world until you find someone better. Social media and dating apps have given most of us the illusion that we have multiple options and endless possibilities, not to mention unhealed traumas, untreated mental health, big egos, and major insecurities. It's a losing game for men. We're only as good as what we can provide. There are many good men out there, but because of their status, they go unseen. While it's true that a lot of good men get overlooked these days, the reality is there are plenty of regular dudes building lives with women. But of course, if you're online all the time or solely rely on dating apps to find someone, you're going to be disappointed."
I do not accept a coffee or a walk as a possible date option, and neither should you. First of all, I'm not a dog that needs to be walked. Second, I have an espresso machine at home, works fabulous. We're not doing drinks either. You're gonna try to get me drunk and take me back home. No. We are doing dinner. You're gonna pick me up. We're gonna come to the restaurant. We're gonna see your table manners. We're just gonna, study you a bit.
I started the egg freezing process. I did some preliminary tests which showed that my egg count is really low. The doctors did tell me that might affect my fertility. My eggs are high quality, but there's just not a lot of them. It's just so sad.
This whole not wanting to do a coffee date thing is ridiculous to me, because just like she said in the video about wanting to study the guy to figure out what he's all about, we want to do the same before we start spending big money on you. Women shouldn't judge a man solely by how much money he chooses to spend on a first date, because you have no idea what's going through his mind when he's meeting you. Sure, there are stingy guys out there, but there are also guys who are just careful with their money and don't spend it freely like that. There are a lot of people out here who have money, but you'll never know it because they don't put it on display. When a woman's dating someone like that, maybe that guy wants to see if she has a genuine interest in him, or is she just out for a free meal? If you're with a guy who's worth a damn and he takes you on a coffee date, if that shit goes well, he likely won't be afraid to spend a little cash the next time. Now, the cut to the egg freezing thing is crazy, and there are far too many women out there who underestimate how difficult the process can be. It seems to me that the light only turns on for these women as they get older and the reality of the world begins to sit in. Not every woman wants to have kids, but if a woman gets to her mid to late 30s and suddenly has the urge, it can be a difficult thing to deal with. All of a sudden, all those people online who were telling you to be happy and single and that life's better alone are nowhere to be seen. It's just you and the four corners in your bedroom.
At 32 years old, I've clearly been around the dating block for a while. I've seen some stuff. Here are a list of somewhat niche red flags that I'm hoping to save you the trouble on. Number one, guys who are big fish heads. PHISH, the band. Whoa, spooky. If he says that he listens to Joe Rogan for the guests, no, he doesn't.
This is the kind of woman you should run away from because she seems like the type of person who demands that everyone in her life should think as she does. Who gives a fuck if a man enjoys Joe Rogan? That tells you nothing about what sort of person he is. I swear to God, some of these TikTokers live in La La Land.
I don't trust men that only order their steak well done, and I can't quite tell you why, but something about it freaks me out.
Why is it that when people are looking for someone who could possibly be their life partner, they like to focus on the shit that just doesn't matter?
If he doesn't do his own laundry, if he can't put a duvet insert into a duvet cover, run for the hills.
I will say though, if you can't make your own bed, that's pretty incompetent, and I imagine that this sort of thing would bleed over into other areas of someone's life.
Honestly, I don't trust a guy who doesn't like dogs. What do you mean you don't like dogs? What's going on with you? Why do you hate everything that's joyful?
Geez, not everyone has to like the shit you like. These people really need to get over themselves.
If he never remembers your friends' names, we're all... Oh.
Maybe he just doesn't give a damn about your friends. He's dating you, not your entire friend group. I have quite a few friends who are married, and a lot of them I haven't seen in years now, because, life. If their partners didn't remember my name, I doubt it would affect their relationship in the slightest, because at the end of the day, I'm not the one who's with them, living and building their lives. At best, I'm just an extra in their TV show.
If he's incapable of doing any sort of handiwork, now I don't need you to fix my car or be able to build me a bookshelf, but if you can't hang a picture, install a light, something like that.
While I agree with this last point, the petty side of me is like, aren't men and women the same and completely equal? So why don't you handle that shit? But yeah, this is what I mean by half-heartedly trying to change the culture. One day, men are constantly being told they're not needed, and the following day, they're being told that they need to know and do all this stuff. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap things up there. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And if you want to share your own thoughts, hit up the comment section.